Hey guys, this is Daniel. So we're going to we're going to do today, and I don't really know my future for this recording I'm doing because playing games while recording is really a problem now because of the lagging that goes on. I don't know if it's something in my software I need to fix or if it's something in my computer, but either way, we'll trudge through this. I do definitely have some good video ideas. So I just decided, I don't know if I'll make this a daily series, a weekly series, a yearly series. It's going to be more than that. But what I'm going to do is, I'm going to show you a tactic. Since I train tactics every day, because I'm trying to get better at chess, in case you didn't know, I'll be showing you a tactic that I maybe solved or didn't solve. A tactic that I attempted, today or the day that I'm recording this. And I'm going to just walk you through my thought process and show you what I thought was important about it and all that good stuff. So, this is black to move, so just feel free to give this a shot, pause the video. For the almost 1800 player I am, I did take a few minutes to calculate all the variations. I think it was about 4 or 5 minutes or so, so if you just need some more time, just be sure to calculate all the variations. So I would definitely say this is good for you if you're 1600 or above, approximately. I'd say if you're 1400 or below, you can certainly solve it, and I definitely think you can do it, but otherwise just enjoy this entertaining tactic. So let's pause the video. Alright. I trust that you have paused the video, so let's take a little look at this position. So this is equal material, but it's very, very weird. It's equal because white has 2 extra pawns, black has 3, white has 5, if you bother count. However, black is also up in exchange for that. So an exchange is when you have an extra rook, but your opponent has an extra minor piece. That would be a knight or a bishop. And obviously a rook is worth more than a knight. A rook is 5, a knight/bishop is 3, despite what some may argue. So, so it's equal material because the exchange is a 2-point deficit, but so the exchange is a 2-point advantage for you, but you have a 2-pawn deficit, so it's equal. So we're going to be looking at this. And this is also weird. If you know some attributes in the position, you do have some back rank pressure. White does have this kind of what's it called? It's a skewer. Yeah, skewer. It's when the more valuable piece is in front. So what you want to be doing is, tactics are about, looking for checks, captures, threats, and all that good stuff, but a lot of it is based off pattern recognition. Because in pattern recognition, it's honestly not really something that can be taught all that much. It's just doing a lot of tactics and remembering them. I think my chess.com record says I've only done 1,000 because I reset my rating a lot, which may or may not have been a foolish decision, and I'd love to ask chess.com if they could gather the records on how many tactics I've attempted, but it's a lot, and to be really good at chess, you need to be good at tactics, and to be good at tactics, you need to solve a lot. So I instantly saw a pattern where you could sacrifice the queen on c3. It may look obscure if you're a beginner, but the idea is you sack the queen. So just generally, if white doesn't take back, then you're just up a knight and you're doing good. So the idea is you obviously have to consider if they accept it. And I saw this checkmate pattern. Rook to d1, rook takes d1, rook takes d1. It's not quite a back rank mate because white's king escapes to b2. But you get bishop to c1 check. That's the key. It covers the a3 square and forces white to go back to b1 or a1, but either way, doesn't matter. Bishop to a3 is discovered checkmate. So that is the pattern I saw. Queen takes c3. However, as is the case, especially once you get to I mean, definitely when you're like 2,500 tactics like I am, I'm not like bragging about it, I'm just stating a fact. You're not going to be getting simple answers like that. I mean, occasionally, I mean, sometimes annoyingly, chess.com does throw in like a mate in one or something because they're like testing out a new tactic, but that's not my point. You know, you're generally not going to be just getting easy, you know, solutions like this, or, you know, just patterns that you normally see. Because the higher you progress in tactics, the more you're just going to have to calculate variations and rely. You do have to rely on pattern recognition. Like, if I'd not known this pattern, I probably would just not have solved it in the first place. But it's also about calculating and making sure that all the variations are good. So what I saw is after queen takes c3, you obviously don't have to take the queen. White could play bishop takes d8. And that is the critical variation you have to see. Because your queen's being attacked, so you have to do something about it. So for example, if I play rook takes d8, b takes c3, there's no more back rank checkmate. You can look for yourself. The rook on f1 is doing a good job defending, so there's nothing there. So the move I saw, the critical move I saw, was queen to f3. Queen to f3 has the basic idea that if the queen is taken by the rook, rook to d1 is checkmate. That is the basic idea, and I think most people would recognize that. I think to most, you know, beginners, it might stun them, a move like queen f3, kind of like queen takes c3 early on. Like, why would you just give up your queen for a knight like that? But, you know, you might see the pattern, but again, you have to look into all the variations. So there's also a threat of rook to d1 checkmate. That's important. Wherever the rook goes, g1, h1, e1, or d1, either one of those squares, rook to d1 leads to checkmate. You know, if he goes here, that's check, and then, you know, go to a1, that's check. You know, it's protected by the queen, so you'll just recapture with checkmate. The critical move is rook to c1. That is what you have to look for. Now, this is the pitfall I almost fell for. I'll just spoil it for you. It turns out all you have to do here is play a move like bishop takes d1. I believe bishop or rook takes d1 is fine. You know, I should have checked before recording the video, but I forgot. But both of these moves seem fine. You just take the bishop, and then you are only up 1 point, but you've kind of accomplished what you wanted. You got away from that skewer, and, you know, black has a very good position. You know, you're attacking the rook, you have 2 bishops, and it's just good for you. However, after rook to c1, when I was calculating this all the way here, I had calculated rook to c1, and the move I thought was rook to d1. So my idea with rook to d1 was, you know, rook takes c1, checkmate is a threat, as it's defended by the bishop. And if you take the rook, I take the other rook with checkmate. And if you try to, like, give your king some luck, I still just take probably with the rook, or maybe the bishop is also good. And then, you know, you're just up a rook here. You're doing well. However, thankfully, while I was calculating this, I realized rook to d1 is a trap. Or, you know, rook to d1 is not good. Because, and this is one thing about calculation, you have to see, like, basic tactics, like 3 moves in advance, which is pretty hard to do, especially since you're looking for all this complicated stuff. Simply bishop takes b5 is good for white. g5, excuse me. And there's nothing you can do. White is up 5, you have no more resources, and white is going to win the game. However, I saw this while calculating, thankfully. You don't give up on variations. That's important. Don't give up on variations just because you see a refutation. It might still be good. So I simply saw that you had a material advantage with bishop d1, bishop d8, or rook d8, and just, you know, saw it was good for me. Admittedly, I kind of forgot that white was up 2 extra pawns, so I thought we were just up a clean bishop, but, you know, with the extra pawns, it's only 1, but, you know, you got what you wanted. You know, earlier it was kind of an iffy position. You know, you had the skewer being faced. So I think if you were playing this in a real game, then you'd be proud that you found a tactic. And certainly queen to c3 is a pattern you want to take home. You just queen to c3, this is kind of the core of the idea. You go check, check, king b2, bishop to c1, and then bishop to a3 mate. Alright, well, trying to keep this video as reasonably timed as possible. Don't know how long it's been, but yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. So, you know, just let me know if you like this format, if you liked my commentary throughout the video. Just leave a comment, give this video a like, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Would really appreciate, you know, growing the flock. And then, yeah, I will probably be doing these pretty frequently. I will also say I posted on chess.com that I would be doing a free game analysis. Don't worry, I'm keeping my promise. I still plan to do it. It's just going to be another day, but relatively soon. So if this is news for you, I will put a link in the description. But essentially, if you have an interesting game you want me to analyze on this channel, you know, I'll do so for completely free and then just give you my thought process, and then hopefully it'll be instructive to you. Alright, well, otherwise, just have a great day or evening or whatever time it is. Stay safe, and I'll see you next video.